Christian, being a CEO yourself, what advice would you give to other CEOs about envisioning the possibilities of Web3 for their own companies, and how should they carry their people with them into this new world?
Dev, if you think about what Web3 is, which is a boundary-less multiverse, and we think about companies starting in this new space, we have to think about the new role of what a company is. If we think about in a traditional Web2 world, the sense of a company is much more formalized. We have an entity that is producing either products or services and has a market into which it's selling these products and services. In a Web3 environments, though, we have to think about the community first. Web3 is all about community. That's a centerpiece, the fulcrum, the main point of Web3, where individual will own their destiny and where companies will be invited into the conversation. So as opposed to Web 2, where you have a company that sells into a community, in Web 3 you have a community that invites and accepts vendors and companies into the conversation. And it's very hard, and we see that today with traditional Web 2 company or Web 1 really trying to make a leap into Web 3, and they're struggling because besides being a technology change, it's much of a cultural change. And we know that everything that is cultural, it takes 10 and more years. So the first advice I would give is keep an open mind when you're about to start a Web3 based company. Consider the community to be the starting point. Without a community, it's pointless to do anything else. You also have to think about how human and machines will work together and the relationship they will have and how it will change. Humans will become much more savvy in owning their own data and using the technology needed to ensure that they will do that. And I think that we're now in a place today where the barriers to entry are lower enough for the mass market to really take a hold of this new technology, but it will happen. We've seen that in crypto, for example, with Coinbase, made something very simple of something extremely complicated. I remember when I first bought my Bitcoin back in 2012, I had to send cash in an envelope to someone in Canada, begging and hoping that I would receive the private keys, so the way to get access to my Bitcoin via mail, which happened. But that obviously is now scalable. So Coinbase made something so difficult and so untrustworthy, so simple and trustworthy. And so the relationship, how machines and people work is another element to consider. So the ease of access and ease of use, it's fundamental. We can't think of a world that is powered by Web3 if Web3 is still called Web3. It will become Web3, it will become ingrained to our society and mass market the moment that we'll stop calling it Web3, the moment that we're going to stop calling it NFTs.